G'day guys, this is Tyr. Holy fuck. Bethesda fixed another glaring issue in this game because of a video I made and because of you guys, the community. You guys kept hammering them with this problem and asking them to fix it, and they finally fucking did. I'm so happy right now. I just got news that within the new update that released last night, that was 4.4 gigabytes for me on Xbox, they fixed the degradation problem in Fallout 76. That's right, your weapons no longer degrade faster, multiplied by how many pellets hit an enemy, or by how many explosions register on that enemy, or by how many explosions register on multiple enemies. That's right, they fucking fixed it, and I'll be explaining in a little bit exactly what they did to fix it and what the new degradation system actually is, but first, let's jump into the game and actually test a few of the weapons that were most notorious for breaking fast. Let's get into it. So first off, I'm just going to actually list off all of the weapons that we'll be actually testing right here. We've got the auto grenade launcher, an explosive 50 cal, a missile launcher, an experimental Merv Fat Man, then on the other character we will be testing an explosive laser rifle with a beam splitter, and then a 2-shot explosive weapon just to demonstrate how much better that effect is now that it has been properly fixed. And then in terms of shotguns, we will be both testing an explosive variant and then a non-explosive variant. Now these, before the patch, degraded so fast, especially the explosive one, and I'll get into why in just a moment, but now they've been fixed, so I think that shotgun builds just became a little bit more viable. So before we actually get started, I have to just explain how these used to function before today's patch, and if you want to know in detail how they worked, I have 2 videos going over that you can click to right now. They'll be on screen so you know what you're looking for. But basically the way it worked was, your weapons actually degraded proportionally to how many projectiles your weapon fired and how many explosions that weapon induced on an enemy, as well as proportionally degrading to how many enemies were actually affected by a single explosion. So for example, if you had a shotgun, and we all know shotguns shoot 8 pellets, so that would mean that your shotgun would technically degrade 8 times faster than a rifle would. Now they did fix that a little bit beforehand by giving shotguns more health, but this seems to have fixed it in its entirety, and I'm really happy about that. Now additionally, explosive weapons, they degraded twice as fast, because the explosion effect that happened when you shot actually counted as its own projectile that degraded the weapon again. So, regular weapons that just have one projectile would degrade twice as fast if they were explosive. And the same trend can be said with weapons that have multi-pelleted functionalities, like explosive shotguns. They would degrade 16 times as fast. Like laser rifles, if they have the beam splitter and are explosive, they would degrade 10 times as fast because they have 5 projectiles. So things like that, it just got into a really big mess when you really sat down and looked at the functionalities of it. But the main thing here is, explosive weapons are now viable, because they used to degrade proportionally to the amount of enemies affected by a single explosion. So for example, just say you had 20 ghouls all in a tight little circle and you fired off one missile. Your missile launcher would degrade 20 times right then and there. Roughly give or take however many got affected by the blast radius. Stuff like that is a thing of the past now, that no longer functions that way, and I'll be explaining exactly how it functions thanks to the help of MapX. Thank you mate for sending me this information. Anyways, let's get into the actual testing and explaining. So now we're going to be testing a 2-shot experimental Merv Fat Man launcher. Now when it's not 2-shot, it fires a single mini nuke into the air, which then splits into 5, so 6 mini nukes in total get fired from this thing. But now that it's 2-shot, it does that twice, totaling 12 mini nukes. Now before this today's patch, those 12 mini nukes would have affected all of these ghouls proportionally again and again and again and again, instantly breaking the weapon without a doubt. Now we're going to take a look at this thing that has been fully repaired, and we're just going to see what the results are. That was more or less like 15 ghouls. Got a lot of XP for that. And it didn't break. It didn't break. Oh my god. They did it. You crazy son of a bitch, Bethesda. You fucking did it. I am at a loss for words. Mini nuke builds, explosive builds are fucking viable now. Holy shit. I know I'm using the weapon incorrectly. It's supposed to aim it up and then it comes down. Like that. I killed something. Weapon degradation for these weapons are fixed without a doubt. And if you want to know why I say that, I have another video where I did this exact same test and shot once right there with a missile launcher, because I didn't have a fat man at the time, and it broke the weapon entirely. So, next weapon. Fuck you. So now we're going to be testing the auto grenade launcher. These things got destroyed so goddamn quickly before today. This right here, half of these with a single bullet would have broken the weapon, and I've shown that before. Now, let's see the results. It is fully over repaired, and oh my days. It's fixed. I'm so happy about this. Holy shit, crowd control weapons are now viable. Explosive weapons are now viable. I'm so happy about that. You have no fucking clue. So, I shot 3 times there. Now, it hit a lot of enemies, but I shot like 3 times. So that means this weapon has degraded 3 times. Instead, where it used to be, it would have degraded like, how many dead bodies are here? Fucking, let's say 20. 20 times 3. 3 shots. That's how much it would have degraded beforehand and would have broken probably in the second shot. Oh man, I'm glad that's fixed. Holy shit. Alright, so now we're going to be doing a missile launcher test. Before the patch, these things broke in 2 shots when in situations like this, and I've got that in my video that I keep recommending because you should watch that if you want to know how fucked up these were. Anyway. Oh, I'm so happy about this. Missile launchers are also viable. It didn't degrade the weapon proportionally to how many enemies were affected by the blast. Holy fuck, it is fixed. All of these fucking scorpion, all of these weapons are fixed, man. That ghoul just bitch slapped a scorpion. Holy shit. I am so happy about this. Whoever done this at Bethesda, I thank you. I thank you so fucking much. You guys have no idea how happy I am about this. Damage numbers are still a bit buggy, but it's degrading proportionally. It's degrading exactly how it's supposed to be, how it should have been from the start, from the game's launch. You guys fixed it. I commend you guys for this. I fired like 5 missiles there, and it's degraded 5 numerical values instead of fucking proportional to the enemies that got hit. There you go. Oh man. Alright, next weapon. Now this one is just to provide a bit of information to you all. Okay, so I've got an explosive 50 cal here. That's the only bit of it that matters. So all of the weapons that had the bullets explode for area damage legendary effect degraded twice as fast. Okay? They degraded twice as fast than regular weapons without that legendary effect, because the explosive attached to the bullet counters as its own projectile that then degraded the weapon a second time. So just some information for you guys, I would like to throw that out there, that is no longer the case. This weapon only degrades once per shot instead of twice per shot, which is awesome. Just putting that out there. So now we will be testing shotguns. This is an explosive shotgun. As I explained before, these used to degrade normally without the explosive effect 8 times as fast because shotguns fire 8 pellets. All shotguns do that. Pump actions, Gauss shotguns, combat, double barrel, whatever else they'll add in the future, all shotguns fire 8 pellets, so they degraded 8 times as fast. On top of that, if they were explosive like this one, they degraded 16 times as fast. Now that's very funny because Todd Howard promised us 16 times the detail, however what we got was 16 times faster weapon degradation. I'll go see myself out. Anyway, we're going to be testing this and I'm going to be shooting a few things in this area, West Tech, and let's get into it. So now I'm going to be testing this inside of West Tech. I'm going to clear the whole thing and fast forward it and come back and show you how much condition I lost from my shotgun. And this is fantastic for all shotgun users. Your weapons are now more viable, they don't break as often, and I know a lot of you are going to be fucking over the moon about that. I know especially my combat shotgun is running very low on the repair kits, as you can see right here. I've got 2 left because I have to repair these bastards so often. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking and get straight into this. So, and there we have it. We have come to the end of this West Tech. We might have missed 3 more in the other room, but that's fine. And as you can see from being fully repaired, she hasn't budged in condition barely at all. The same as a combat rifle, because only one of these projectiles is being actually degrading of the weapon, instead of all 8 and then all 8 explosions of the pellets. Fuck, it is good now to be a shotgun build. I can tell you from extensive experience and personal anecdotes on my streams and stuff like that, this whole, there we go, there's one more, this whole area right here, I would have been almost at the point where I had to repair this weapon. It would have been just on the cusp of breaking. And if you don't believe me, then go and watch any one of Captain Noob's videos where he tests shotguns. When he goes through West Tech, those motherfuckers almost break when they are explosive. So yeah, that's cool. Shotgun builds, more viable, awesome, let's move on. So now we are at the point where we have to talk about the legacies and what this means for them. No, this is not a buff for them, I promise you. Me and a few people are working on a video gathering information about how these can be fixed in the future and resolved without any dramas. Now, what this does mean though is that they are more viable and will not break instantly, especially if they aren't explosive, because this problem extended to these laser rifles with beam splitters and other weapons like it without explosive effects. They still all broke insanely fast and would break probably halfway through trying to kill a regular Scorch Beast or a Behemoth, which I have shown in my other videos. I used a laser rifle from full durability and it broke halfway through killing a Behemoth and Queen. So it's been fixed now and I'm going to test that out. I'm going to fully repair this bad boy and we are going to be taking out the entirety of Harper's Ferry, which has a lot of fucking enemies, so if this doesn't prove it's been fixed, then I don't know what will. Let's get into it. Time for me to shut up. Fuck, okay, I died. Alright. Caution still, but I don't see any enemies, so I can't be bothered looking. Look how much the weapon degraded. The yellow bar in the middle, the lighter yellow bar, lost a little bit. That's about the same amount that you would lose from using a regular weapon that doesn't have any two-shot properties or explosive effects or anything like that. That has been fixed. Now, the question remains, is this bad for legacy weapons? No, it's fine. In my opinion, this is the first step Bethesda is taking that will allow them to actually fix legacy weapons. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens there, because that type of damage potential right there should not be allowed, in my opinion. But anyway, the durability on them is fixed, so that means that they're going to be much more viable to use. That means they're going to be much more widespread and actually used by players. And fourth, Bethesda will do something about it. So that's just the way it is. Anyway, let's move on. Alright, and here we are back at West Tech, this time with the two-shot explosive fixer, just to make some more points on how much they fixed this. So before they fixed it, two-shot and explosive, if those both were on any weapon, then your weapon would degrade 4 times as fast, which is astonishingly fucked up because it makes no sense. But anyway, now that has been rectified, it has been fixed. Two-shot weapons no longer make your weapon degrade twice as fast. Explosive no longer makes it degrade twice as fast, and when they're combined, it no longer makes your weapon degrade 4 times as fast. As I'll do right here, I'm going to clear the outside of West Tech, just the outside, because in doing that before the patch, it would have taken away roughly half of the bar. That's how bad it was. But anyway, let's get into it and finish off the testing, then we can explain exactly how this new system functions. And we are done. And would you look at that? It barely budged, just like the other ones. All weapons that had problems with the degradation system now function correctly. They are in line with regular non-explosive, non-multi-pallative, non-two-shot weapons, and it's fucking awesome. This is so good. This is such a good change. Whoever did this at Bethesda, I commend you, because I've been complaining about this issue for far too long. I made 2 videos on it. I was planning on making a 3rd if nothing got done about it soon to really light a fire under your guys' ass, but you surprised me and you actually fixed this just randomly in a quality of life update. I'm so thrilled about this. Thank you all for doing that. Now, let's just talk about a few other things. So what does this mean? Basically, all of the weapons I just shown and more that I have neglected to show at the moment because I don't want this video to be half an hour long. Basically, it means all of them will degrade at the exact same amount as just any old weapon, any random weapon that you'll find off of a super mutant or blood eagle, whatever have you. Any weapon in the game, they all degrade the exact same amount, except for energy weapons, which I'll touch on in a little bit. There's something different about them that I need to mention. But my point remains that all the weapons that had problems are now fixed. They all degrade properly and as expected, instead of the bullshit system that they had before. As a reminder, that was, they used to degrade proportionally to how many pellets / projectiles the weapon fired, and if those weapons were explosive, it doubled it, and then if any extra enemies were caught in the explosion radius, it got degraded proportionally more for those people that were in the explosion radius. Anyway, let's explain this. So now I'm going to explain how this new condition system works. I've got here on screen a Reddit post by MapX. He has done the exact same tests I've conducted, except that he actually put down the maths and the statistics to the percentage loss for each shot, as you can see right there. 50 shots fired from absolute full condition, 145%, brings it back down to 142%. Then further 150 shots will bring it from 142% down to 130%. Stuff like that. You can see the same thing with the auto grenade launcher and all of that jazz. So this means that with his findings and this math right here, that it is functioning correctly, exactly how the condition system should be working for all weapons across the board. So happy they've done this. Fuck yes. But basically, to put it simple in layman's terms, all ballistic and explosive weapons will degrade 1%, one numerical value per shot that is registered on an enemy, instead of the shots multiplied by pallets, multiplied by explosions, yada yada yada, all that stupid shit that it was before the patch. So they function correctly, and the way energy weapons work is a little bit different. This is laser rifles, plasma rifles, Tesla rifles, stuff like that. Energy weapons will degrade 2%, so 2 numerical values every time a shot registers on an enemy. But it still brings it in line with everything we have in the game. So, ballistic weapons will degrade 1%, energy weapons will degrade 2% per projectile that hits an enemy, not being multiplied by pallets or projectiles or beam splitters or shotgun stuff or explosions, any of that crap. It's all the same now, which is amazing. Now this is much more akin to what we had in previous entries of the Fallout series, Fallout 3 and New Vegas. This is much more similar to the way those condition systems worked, and we no longer have to deal with any of these problems that we were all facing beforehand. Now to talk about the legacy thing a little bit more. I understand this is a problem for some of you see this as legacies getting a buff and you don't like that. I understand, and I also understand some of you are over the moon because now you get to use your legacies way more than you normally did, and you no longer have to worry about farming improved repair kits for those weapons. But what this really means is that this is the foundation. This is the building blocks that will make Bethesda fix legacy weapons. It'll make them remove the crazy amount of damage that they do. It'll make them fix that. I 100% believe that they are making steps to fix that problem in this game, as well as a few other problems. So enjoy it while you can, I guess, because I foresee it getting fixed in the future, and that's just the way it's going to be. Nothing me or anyone else can do about it. So, in summary, shotguns, beam-splitted energy weapons, explosive beam-splitted energy weapons, explosive weapons, two-shot weapons, naturally explosive launcher weapons, all function correctly now. They no longer degrade insanely fast, they all degrade properly. So ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. A massive shout out to all my current channel members and Patreons. Thank you all so much for your continued support on the channel. A friendly reminder to follow my social medias in the description below, and be sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed. I've been Tyr, and I'll catch us in the next one. Welcome to Valhalla.